In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to draw a portrait from a photograph, step by step. For this demonstration, I'm going to use a Tissar drawing pad. For this drawing tool, I'm going to use compressed charcoal pencil and a fine charcoal. First, let's draw freely on the paper with the compositions. It's very important at the beginning you open your feeling, open your sense when you're doing the composition drawing. Okay, you want to thinking about, is that too big? Is that too small? And how is going to best the way to show the personality that you understand. Now I make the top of the head a little bit lower, so leave a little enough space at the top of the page. And I think I would like you to spend more time at this step. I would like to spend even half hours just working out the composition. Now we are going to draw a little more to define it. Right now we don't do the, not rushing into the proportion yet. No need to do the proportion. It's too early. Making sure each step is solid. Next, I'm going to find the biggest proportion. I'm going to measure the width of the face compared to the height of the face. The height of the face I'm going to use from the hairline to the bottom of the chin. I'm going to use this skinny bamboo brush, and I'm going to take the height of the face from the hairline to the chin compared to the width of the face. Now I'm measuring on my computer screen, so I'm going to find out what is the ratio proportion. Now I'm going to divide that. We're going to divide this on the bamboo brush. That you can use any stick as a measurement tool. If the height are divided into 4 1/4, the width would be 3 1/4. And based on this ratio relationship, and I'm going to use that relationship on the paper, and I'm based on the height, I'm going to correct the width of the face. If you feel difficult with the proportions, we have a lot of lessons on portrait drawings, different way to find proportions and the measurements on our Enjoying Art Learning Center. Now I just divide the height into 4 1/4. This is great. Now I take the 3 1/4, that is the width from the eye to the outside of the ear. It's very much there. Just change a little bit. It's very important to make every step solid. Don't rush through the process. Take enough time. Okay, even take a few hours for the drawing. So this is great. Now it's just fine. Also fine from the hairline to the chin, and you can divide it into exactly 3 same proportion. So now it's good. Double check, they are the same. So now we know where the eyebrows would be and where the nose would be. It's very easy. Just follow the step. Now we take a look at horizontally. If we put the mark in the middle, that actually the corner, the right side of the iris of the eye. And I can see the corner of that eye. Let's find where is the eye line. And let's do a little measurement. Actually, it's about 1/3 from the eyebrows to the nose. That is the eye line. Is the eye line which is at the corner of the eye. That is the eye line. So let's draw the line from the left to the right. We're going to do the mark. That's just the eye line. Now we already know where is the corner of the eye. And then I can divide into approximately 3 to make it into divide, and which is the nose line, and the other corner of the eye. So it's approximately about 3 proportion. It's very easy if you just focus on one thing when you try to find that proportion. It's pretty easy. But the important, very important, is start from the biggest proportion first. And going smaller and smaller is very easy. Okay, now we already know this is very important area. The proportion, correct or not, is directly affecting the likeness of a portrait. We already know the location of the eye, and now we're going to look into compare the eye and find out where is the eyebrows start, and use the angular measurements, and we compare to the angle from the corner of the eye and coming up, and we can find the eyebrows. And the eyebrows is wrapped around, almost the shape wrapped around to the shape of the eye. It's pretty easy to find it. Now we're gonna see from the corner of the eye to the outside of the ear, the middle, it actually divided into a quarter in the middle of there. That actually the sidebone. Now let's draw the angular line for the nose. Don't look at too much of the details. Just draw the and then compare to the corner of the eye to the right side of the nose, and now we can find the width of the nose. It's pretty easy process. It's just one step at a time. Don't skip through it. Now we're gonna give a little suggestions for the outside of the face. Just look at the angle of that portion, and we can compare with from the middle of the left eye. We can see the outside of the shape from the mouth to the chin, and that is about the middle, from the middle of the eye of the left eye. Follow the process. The steps are very important. Okay, now we're going to draw the chin line. The jaw line coming up is connect to the ear. Everything has connection. Next, let's find out where the mouth is. And the lower border of the lower lip is served usually the midpoint from the nose to the chin. Now with the angular measurement, and we can find out the corner of the mouth from the nose. So you can see, always use the known element to find the next known element. Like say you have to know exactly where the corner of the nose before you can use that to measure to find out the corner of the mouth. And that's just good. We also cross reference from the eye compare with the nose, the eye compare with the mouth, and the nose compare with the mouth. Now we're going to add the other elements, like say the neck and where's the clothing, and those are very easy. You can use the angular measurements across over from the back all the way, draw the line up there, you can hit the eyebrows. Now the rough proportion and the line drawing is almost done, right? It's pretty easy. It's an easy process. And if you slow down, follow the step, you would definitely gonna agree with me. It's pretty easy. Okay, so this is the first step. After you draw the outline, this is pretty easy. And if you already know correctly where the ear, and then draw a little triangle in the middle of the ear, you can find the other shapes. It's important to start from big proportion to smaller. And now you already know where the eye is. Exactly, draw a little shape for the iris. It's pretty easy. Now we can come in to the nose and draw, fine-tune the smaller changes of the nose. But you should not do that at the beginning. You just draw a rough straight line. Now we're going to do the shading. I'm going to use the medium soft wine charcoal. Just blend it in. So don't worry. And you're going to see some of the previous line maybe get weaker because of the shading on to the whole face. And inside the eye over here, there's a whole area that's darker. I don't like you to spend too much attention into the smaller details. Okay, right now I just want you to see which area is darker compared to other area. So somewhere lighter, somewhere darker. I just shade it on, and if you're feeling that's a little bit too dark, and we can lift it up, make it a little bit lighter later. But I want you to follow your sense. It's important in the whole drawing process. You want to open up your feeling, your understanding, and you're always thinking about, is the person I'm drawing is feel like the person, and is the person that I know, that I understand. Right now, I'm going to use my paper towel just get off any extra, because the vine charcoal is not going to stick on the paper that strongly. And I'm going to use the nitty eraser to lift up some of the light area. So basically you tone down everywhere on the face, and then use the nitty eraser to lift up the highlight. Like a few area needs to be lighter. And you can correct, looks like that line can be a little bit, can be corrected a little bit. And now looking at the line of the chin, and as you're seeing this drawing process, the personality on the paper is not the personality you edit later. The personality is how you feel, is how you understand. So you have the feeling when you look at the drawing. Okay, you need to keep that feeling connected with you as you draw from the beginning to the end of the drawing process. And then neck over here also need to be a little bit lighter. Now up to this point, you're already seeing some three-dimensional feeling, no longer just flat, no longer just line drawing. Now I'm going to add a little bit darker value by using the compressed charcoal pencil. And I'm going to make that a little bit darker, and also thinking about the texture. If the texture is too strong, too rough, and you want to use either the paper blender or your finger to soften it. Okay, and right under the neck, and it needs to be darker. Just still pushing onto the value contrast. Okay, and on the neck over here, and that is just the cast the shadow, and need to be a little bit darker. So the darkest points are only in one or two places in the whole drawing. We have been talking about line drawing. Line drawing, I just want you to pay more attention to the expression of the line. Is that the line has enough variety? Is the line have enough language in it? Have enough, not just all straight line. You just thinking about how the line's supposed to be look. Is the line make you feel good or good enough? Now also going to add a little value to the clothing to separate the different local color. Now I'm also going to add a little details, we say smaller shapes onto the hair, because the whole hair is supposed to be darker than the face, except the top of the head. The top of the head, because it is facing to the light side, in a little bit lighter. I will continue adding some darker shade. I'm trying to create the sense of the volume of the portrait. Okay, some area need to be darker, somewhere need to be lighter. But it's not everywhere dark. Now I'm gonna add a little shade, make it a little bit darker, dark enough for the eyebrows. And the eyebrows, I have a two side. One is the lower side, it look a little bit darker, and the upper side look a little bit lighter. You can represent the toning. Now let's add a little smaller shape, the skinny shape of the eye. And you can see that in between the on the upper eyelid between the two lines as a little bit darker. And now you can see the highlight is gone in the iris, but very easy we can get it back later with the eraser. And now it's the old lower eyelid. I'm making sure it's the correct value. And your eye, keep looking, comparing with not just the local area, but looking at a little bit farther, looking at the whole face, the whole drawing. And the top over here and the forehead, it has a little cast shadow, right? And some of the detail we can use the eraser to help. Now I'm working into the highlight inside the iris. Erase the area, and then just use the charcoal, draw close up that light shape. If you think it's possible, most likely it would be possible to do. If you think, oh, I can't do it, and most likely you won't do it. Now thinking about the reflected light from the right side, and use the eraser to create that, the toning of the lower eyelid. It's just slowly. I don't want you to go really too fast. If you go too fast, or even skip the steps, and the drawing, it won't be good. Now I'm gonna coming down to the nostril of the nose. Now just looking at the smaller shape, but when you're doing the smaller shape, don't break the relationship of the bigger shapes. Like the nose, the shadow of the nose, and on between the eyebrows, and there is a little triangle, a little bit darker, showing the toning. And I'm coming down to the mouth, the corner of that mouth. I'm looking at the shadow shape underneath the lower lip of the mouth. If something is not quite right, you always can change it by draw the charcoal or use the eraser to correct the tone, correct the value. And now we can see that in the corner of the mouth, and showing the personality has a lot to do with the corner of the mouth. Now I can make the sideburn a little bit lower, and we can see that in the jaw area, and then a little fold. Now we can get it back again. So don't worry. If you drew it one time, the second time it's just as easy, and it's already in your understanding. And the understanding is most important in the drawing process. Now we're gonna show the little toning on the cheek. You're gonna carefully observe to see the details of the little small changes of the value, but you don't want to overemphasize those small changes, because if you overemphasize it, you're gonna attract too much attention to the smaller detail, and most likely you're gonna break the bigger relationship. Now we can make it a little lighter over here, but I don't want that to stand out too much. And use the smaller eraser tip to find the highlight on the lower eyelid. This is good. Now on the nose, I'm gonna make a little turn coming up by having a little light shape over there. This is pretty good. Now this way we can represent more and more gradually we can create those richer details. Now use the nitty eraser. Now we can create the suggestions of the texture of the hair. Now let's shade a little bit for the correct value and also dim down the color of the clothing. Now we need to looking at the outside of the face. We're going to use the background to help. To do the background, I used the wine charcoal, and I rarely use my left hand, but in this case it worked out okay. You don't have to make the background to be totally flat. You can use some light area, and for the back of the head I want to make the hair connect to the background because the hair is pretty dark now, but I don't want the hair to stand out. So that's just pretty easy. Use the background to enhance the drawing. And if you really like portrait drawing, and please come to join us and be a member of the Enjoying Art learning community.